7 female psychological weaknesses so powerful that if you understand them, you can literally predict what a woman will do before she even knows it herself. While 99% of men are still guessing and begging for attention, the few who understand these hidden patterns have almost supernatural control over relationships. These are not just theories. They are deep, ancient instincts wired into the female brain for thousands of years. Once you learn to spot and use them correctly, she will feel like you can read her mind. The first weakness controls almost 80% of her daily decisions, and she doesn't even know it. The 7th is so strong it can make the coldest woman completely obsessed with you in less than 2 weeks. Are you ready to learn the secret psychologists charge thousands of dollars to explain? Then stay until the end, because this will completely change how you understand women. But first, you need to understand one thing. Machiavelli wasn't just a political thinker. He was a master of human nature. What he saw 500 years ago still applies today, because female psychology hasn't changed. The clothes, the apps, the culture, all different. But the instincts are exactly the same. The addiction to romantic stories. Every woman lives inside a story she is writing in her own mind. From the time she was a little girl, she has watched hundreds of romance movies, listened to love songs, read novels, and scrolled through endless social media stories about passion, heartbreak, and destiny. These things did more than just entertain her. They shaped the way her mind understands love. They trained her to look for certain emotions, moments, and patterns that match what she has seen in those stories. This is where the trick appears, and it's something even Machiavelli would admire. When a woman falls for a man, she is not always falling for the real person. Instead, she is falling for how well he fits the main character role in the story she already has in her imagination. Most men fail in love because they behave like background characters. They are too polite, too predictable, too plain. They follow every rule and never surprise her. There is no excitement, no emotional rise and fall, just a straight, boring line. But the men who seem mysterious, confident, and emotionally alive, they become the story she wants to live. They know how to create moments that feel like scenes from a movie. They know when to pull back, when to tease, and when to show real emotion. To do this, you must learn rhythm, not just in your words, but in your presence. Don't give everything away at once. Let silence do some of the work. Add a little tension. Let curiosity grow. For example, most men rush to give compliments like, "You look beautiful." It's nice, but it's flat, too easy. Instead, wait for a quiet moment. Look at her, really look at her, and then say softly, "I get distracted when I look at you." That sentence has timing, emotion, and depth. It makes her feel something. In that moment, her brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that fires when she watches her favorite romantic movie. You're no longer just another man, you've become part of her story. This doesn't mean you should play games or fake emotions. It means you should understand how powerful emotion and imagination are in love. Women don't just want logic or stability, they want to feel alive. And when you can make her feel like she's living in a story worth remembering, you stop being a character in her head and start becoming the story she wants to keep writing. The emotional confirmation bias. A woman's mind works in emotional patterns. She doesn't just see what's real, she feels what seems true and then looks for proof that it's real. This is called emotional confirmation bias. Her emotions decide first, and her logic follows later. When she meets you for the first time, her brain starts to form a story right away. Within minutes, she feels something about you: confident, calm, desperate, shy, or strong. And that first emotional picture shapes everything that comes after. If her first feeling about you is that you're confident, grounded, and valuable, her brain will search for evidence that supports it. If you say something awkward or make a small mistake, she'll overlook it or even find it charming. But if her first impression is that you're needy, nervous, or trying too hard, she'll notice every small thing that proves you're that way. Even good actions will be twisted to fit her first story. That's why the first 30 minutes matter more than almost anything else. It's not about impressing her or showing off. It's about creating an emotional frame, calm, certain, and real. Don't talk too much. Don't rush to fill silence. Let her speak. Listen carefully. ask thoughtful questions. The more she talks, the more her brain feels connected to you. People trust those who make them feel seen and understood. Then plant small truths about who you are, not by bragging, but by speaking with quiet clarity. Say things like, "I value my time and only spend it with people who matter." Or, "I don't chase many things, I choose what fits my peace." Later, when you're not always available, or when you take your time to reply, her brain will remember your words and say, "He's consistent. He really values his time." That simple pattern builds deep trust and attraction, not through effort, but through alignment between what you say and what you do. The goal isn't to trick her, it's to show emotional truth through calm confidence. When your words, tone, and actions all match, her emotions relax. She starts to feel safe and drawn toward you. Remember, attraction isn't built by chasing or convincing. It's built when her own mind decides you fit the story she wants to believe. So set that story early, with quiet strength, patience, and authenticity. When you do, you don't have to prove your worth. Her emotions will do it for you. The time pressure, anxiety. Every woman lives with an invisible clock, one that quietly ticks in the back of her mind. It's not just biological, though that's part of it. It's also social. Every birthday adds another small whisper, "I'm getting older." Every time she sees a friend get married, post engagement photos, or share baby pictures, a soft alarm rings inside her. Time is running out. This pressure doesn't always show on the surface. She might laugh, travel, focus on her work, and say she's not in a rush. But deep down, the feeling grows stronger with every year, every reminder, every comparison. When she feels she still has time, she's relaxed. She enjoys attention, flirts freely, and keeps her options open. She can wait, explore, and dream. But when she starts to feel that time pressure, even slightly, her decisions change fast. She becomes more serious, more emotionally invested. She looks for someone who seems stable, strong, and ready for the future. Her actions shift from playing the game to finding security. That's why it's so important for you to act like you'll wait forever. If she senses that you'll always be available, that you have nothing else moving in your life, the urgency disappears. There's no reason for her to act, because your presence feels guaranteed. Instead, live with momentum. Have goals, direction, and a clear sense of purpose. Be a man whose life is already moving forward, with or without her. When she sees that you're focused, improving, and chasing your own vision, her subconscious mind starts to respond. She begins to think, "He's not waiting around. He's going somewhere. And if I don't step up, I might lose him." That quiet sense of urgency creates emotional attraction, not through pressure or manipulation, but through contrast. She feels your time has value, and she wants to be part of it. You can even remind her of time in gentle, natural ways. Talk about your future goals, your standards, and what kind of life you're building. Mention that you only invest in relationships that grow. Those small, confident statements tell her something powerful. You are a man who values his time, his path, and his peace. That awareness triggers a subtle shift in her mind. Suddenly, she's thinking about you more often. She feels the desire to connect, to commit, to secure her place in your story before someone else does. You don't have to rush her or push her. Just let your life's direction speak louder than your words. When a woman feels that you're moving with purpose and that your time isn't infinite, she'll feel that invisible clock tick inside her. And that's when she stops wondering about you and starts wanting to be with you. The addiction to emotional drama. Here's a truth most men don't really understand. Women need emotional stimulation. A woman's brain is wired to feel emotions more strongly, more quickly, and more often than a man's. Her emotions rise and fall like waves, and that rhythm gives her a sense of life and connection. Because of that, she doesn't want a relationship that feels flat or emotionless. She doesn't crave peace alone, she craves emotional movement. When everything feels calm all the time, she starts to feel numb. When there are no emotional highs or lows, her mind begins to wonder, something's missing. Why do I feel empty? Most men mistake peaceful for attractive. They believe if they're nice, calm, and predictable all the time, it will make her happy. But to her, that kind of comfort can slowly start to feel boring. It's not because she wants drama or chaos, it's because her emotional system runs on rhythm, like a song, and when the rhythm disappears, so does her excitement. This doesn't mean you should start fights or play mind games. It means you should understand the emotional rhythm that keeps attraction alive. A good relationship feels like a dance, moments of closeness, then space, warmth, then mystery, laughter, then silence. When you learn to move with that rhythm, you give her emotional variety, and that's what keeps her heart engaged. Sometimes be intense and passionate, look her in the eyes and make her feel seen. Sometimes be distant, let her miss your energy. Sometimes be playful, tease her, joke with her, make her laugh. Sometimes be deep, talk about your dreams, your values, your story. That shift in energy creates a natural emotional pattern in her brain. When you pull back slightly, not disappearing, just giving space, her subconscious starts to feel a little anxious. What's happening? Is something changing? That small wave of uncertainty makes her pay attention. Her emotions awaken. She starts to think about you more. Then, when you come back with warmth, affection, and confidence, her brain rewards her with a hit of dopamine, the same chemical that creates feelings of joy and excitement. It's that emotional contrast, not constant comfort, that keeps her deeply interested. Her brain associates you with emotional movement, not boredom. You become the person who makes her feel alive. Think of it like this. In a good story, there are always moments of tension and release. That's what makes people care about the characters. The same is true for emotional attraction. If everything stays the same, no surprises, no mystery, no rhythm, the story ends too soon. So don't try to make everything perfect all the time. Be real, be confident, be a little unpredictable, but always grounded in respect and care. Let her feel your different sides: strength, humor, silence, passion. When she experiences those changes with you, her emotions dance. She doesn't just like you, she feels you, and that feeling becomes addictive. Because what she truly wants isn't a man who gives her constant comfort, it's a man who gives her emotional life. The need for social approval. For thousands of years, women depended on their tribe for safety and survival. Being accepted by the group meant food, protection, and belonging. Being rejected or left out meant danger, loneliness, exposure, and risk. That ancient instinct never went away. Even today, in the modern world of phones, cities, and social media, that same emotional wiring still lives inside her. When she meets a man, she isn't only asking, "Do I like him?" She's also asking, "Will other people like him? Will my friends approve? Will my family respect him? Will my followers think he's good enough for me?" Her attraction isn't only emotional, it's social. How others see you affects how she feels about you. That's why it's not enough to just make her like you in private. If you want a deep connection that lasts, you need to think beyond just her emotions. You need to become the kind of man who looks valuable in the eyes of her world. When her friends say, "He's a good guy," or "You're lucky," her feelings for you grow stronger. When her family sees you as confident, kind, and capable, her trust in you deepens. When other people respect you, her own brain interprets that as proof of your worth. This is called social proof, and it's one of the strongest forces in human attraction. So, don't fight it, use it wisely. Take her to places that make her feel proud to be with you. Let her friends see that you treat her with respect and care. Show small signs of leadership, confidence, and direction, not to brag, but to demonstrate that you are someone who earns respect naturally. You don't need to show off, you just need to let your value be visible. When people around her see you as high quality, disciplined, funny, respectful, and self-assured, they will mirror that belief back to her. She will start to feel, "Everyone sees that he's a catch. I made a good choice." And here's another quiet truth. If other women find you interesting, it doesn't hurt. It actually helps. Her subconscious mind sees that as a sign of value. In psychology, this is known as mate choice copying, when people are more attracted to someone who others already find desirable. Her brain thinks, if other women want him, there must be a reason. He must be worth wanting. Of course, this doesn't mean you should flirt or play games. It simply means you should live in a way that naturally draws attention and respect. Be social. Have a life outside of her. Show that your time is valuable and that you are a man other people admire. Because when a woman feels proud to be with you, when her friends approve, her family approves, and the world seems to nod its head, her emotional connection becomes much stronger. She doesn't just like you, she feels safe choosing you. She feels proud to stand beside you, and she feels validated in loving you. That's the hidden power of social approval. It doesn't just make her attracted to you, it makes her want to keep you. The father validation gap. Every woman's first emotional blueprint for love begins with one man, her father. Before she ever falls in love, before she ever dreams of romance, her father shows her what it feels like to be seen, valued, and protected. If he was loving and attentive, she grows up believing that love is safe and nurturing. If he was absent, distant, or critical, a small gap opens in her heart, a quiet space filled with unanswered questions. Am I enough? Will someone stay this time? Do I deserve love that lasts? That gap becomes the hidden force behind many of her adult relationships. Without realizing it, she begins to search for men who can fill that emotional space, who can give her what she never got or repeat what feels familiar. This is why you should never underestimate the influence of her father's role in her story. You don't have to act like a therapist or dig into her past, but you do need to listen deeply. Listen not just to her words, but to what they reveal. If she talks about how hard it is for her to trust, that might come from a father who broke promises. If she lights up when you show appreciation, maybe she never got enough of it growing up. If she fears rejection or abandonment, it might be the echo of a father who wasn't there when she needed him most. Understanding that doesn't mean you should fix her. It means you should recognize what she values, what she fears, and what she quietly craves. If her father never praised her, appreciate her, but do it sincerely, not with flattery, but with real observation. Notice her effort, her growth, her mind. That kind of attention heals wounds more than any gift ever could. If her father was absent, don't rush to fill that space with constant attention. Be consistent, not clingy. Be reliable, not overwhelming. Presence doesn't mean texting her every minute. It means showing up when it matters and letting your actions speak louder than promises. If her father was too strict or controlling, show her balance. Be strong, but gentle. Be confident, but open. Let her see that authority and affection can live together. When you naturally provide the kind of emotional safety she never had, her subconscious begins to relax. She feels something new, something her nervous system has longed for but rarely found. She'll start to say things like, "I feel safe with you. You feel like home." Those words mean you've touched something deep in her, not just attraction, but emotional healing. That's the real power of understanding the father validation gap. It's not manipulation, it's awareness. It's seeing the unseen part of her story and responding with maturity, patience, and quiet strength. Because when a woman meets a man who gives her what she never got, not through effort, but through presence, she doesn't just fall for him. Her entire nervous system anchors to him. He becomes the emotional safety she's been searching for her whole life. And that's when love becomes something deeper than excitement. It becomes restoration. The fear of abandonment. Of all the emotional instincts buried deep inside a woman, this one is the most powerful. The fear of being abandoned. Thousands of years ago, being left alone wasn't just sad, it was dangerous. Without her tribe or protector, a woman faced hunger, exposure, and real physical risk. That ancient fear didn't disappear, it simply evolved. Today, it lives quietly inside her nervous system. When she feels emotionally secure, her world feels calm. But the moment she senses distance, silence, or the risk of being replaced, her mind goes into survival mode. Her heart starts racing, her thoughts spin, and she unconsciously works harder to keep you close. This doesn't mean she's weak, it means she's human. Her biology and instincts are doing exactly what they were designed to do: protect her from loss. Here's the paradox most men never understand. If she feels that you could walk away, her attraction deepens. But if she believes you'll never leave, no matter what she does, the spark begins to fade. Why? Because safety without risk feels dull. Her emotions need polarity, the feeling that she must choose to keep your attention, not that it's guaranteed. The secret is balance. Never play games, but never give yourself away completely either. Don't rush to declare love after a few moments of connection. Let desire build naturally. Keep some mystery. Let her wonder about your thoughts, your dreams, and your next move. Stay independent. Have a life filled with purpose, friends, and goals that matter beyond her. That independence reminds her that your world doesn't revolve around her, and that's what keeps her drawn to you. And most importantly, hold your boundaries with calm strength. If she disrespects you, tests you, or crosses your limits, don't explode in anger or beg for peace. Simply show, through quiet confidence, that you can walk away if needed. That moment of calm control speaks louder than any speech or argument ever could. It tells her subconscious, "This man doesn't need me. He chooses me." That difference between need and choice is everything. It turns simple attraction into deep respect. It makes her want to earn your presence rather than take it for granted. Because a woman doesn't truly fall for the man who chases her endlessly. She falls for the man who could leave, but stays because he wants to. When you understand all 7 principles, the addiction to stories, the confirmation bias, the time pressure, the emotional rhythm, the need for approval, the father validation gap, and the fear of abandonment, you begin to see women with new eyes. Not as puzzles to manipulate, but as human beings with deep emotional systems shaped by thousands of years of instinct and experience. This knowledge gives you 2 paths. You can use it to control or to connect. You can play games or build something real. The difference is self-mastery, because true power doesn't come from controlling others, it comes from controlling yourself. When you live with calm confidence, clear purpose, and steady boundaries, something shifts. You no longer chase validation. You become the source of it. And when that happens, women don't just desire you, they respect you. And that combination, respect plus desire, is the most magnetic force in the world. If you've made it this far, you already see what most men never do. That attraction isn't luck, it's psychology. These 7 truths aren't tricks, they're awareness. When you understand them, you stop chasing approval and start creating genuine connection. Now it's time to apply it. Live with purpose, hold your standards, lead with calm confidence. When you master your emotions, women feel it instantly. Because real power isn't about control, it's about presence. Start becoming that man today. Focused, grounded, magnetic. The kind of man who doesn't seek validation. He creates it. Respect and desire aren't given. They're earned through self-mastery. And that's where your story begins.